Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second in our series of JN Bank Redesigning Your 2020 Goals Chat. I'm Steve Distant, Chief Non-Branch Division of JN Bank. This week, I'm joined by my colleague and friend, Delories Jones, Senior Vice President, Sales Strategy of JN Fundmanagers. And together, we'll be answering your questions about building and maintaining an investment portfolio despite the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The goal of this conversation is to assist you during and after the COVID-19 crisis. Welcome, Delores.
Good to see you, Steve. It has been a long time. COVID has kept us apart, but we are together today.
I'm glad that you could join me. Just to say that we are going to be doing this for 8 weeks, and we'll be discussing several topics. This is the second, and we're really glad that we can be here sharing our views, Delores, so that our members can get an idea that they want to invest now. One of the
Absolutely, Steve.
Okay, Delores, one of the questions that people have always asked me, especially my friends, relatives, and co-workers, what is an investment portfolio and what are the steps involved in building one?
Okay, Steve, very good question. An investment portfolio is really a basket of financial assets that's put together and built for an individual in order to help them to reach their goal. And that basket can be made up of different assets: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash, and depending on the individual, their goals and their risk tolerance, that basket becomes your portfolio that works for you. And how do you build that portfolio? First, you need to sit with an investment advisor, discuss your plans and your goals, looking at where you are now in your life cycle and where you want to go, and looking at the time frame, your risk tolerance, and based on that, an investment advisor will work with you to build that portfolio to ensure that your goals are achieved.
Delores, I've always been so impressed with JN Fund Managers Investment Advisors. I recommend them anytime. I've also discussed debts and people borrowing to invest. I've always said to them, it's great to borrow. Do not borrow to what do I call for consumption. One of the best thing to borrow for is like an house. It builds up equity over after a while, and that will allow you to grow and your asset to grow. I've always said it's great to consolidate your debts. I've been having some meetings around the island discussing it with various members of the JN fraternity how we can go about consolidating your debt. So I want your feedback. Do you think that's a line I should continue with, Dolores?
Absolutely, Steve. It is a very good instructions, and more so than ever in this crisis where we have a pandemic, people need to look to consolidating their debt. It will allow them to actually have more cash to help living expenses, to help to build their investment portfolio. So consolidating is actually a good action for persons to take in managing their portfolio.
Dolores, if your team and you can give me such good kudos, I know that I'm doing a good job out there. And I want to continue with our little chat that we're having about investment. How do you navigate the current investment market during COVID-19?
Steve, I would say to persons, when you started to invest originally, you had a goal. Your goal still remains. So keep on track. Circumstances might change and things may change, but as long as your goal is there and you need to achieve your goal, you need to keep on track with your investment portfolio. Chances are you may need to do some retweaking of your portfolio at this time, but importantly, maintaining your composure and staying invested is the best advice I give.
Well, that is so good, and I know that the JN family is just glad to hear us here having our chit chat and passing on as good advice to them. I've been saying the good options now, even although there are challenges in the stock market now, it's still somewhere you should go and look at for deals, and with advice, and you can able to make good investment. But just to expand on that a bit, what are some good investment options now?
Steve, you actually mentioned the stock market, which is one that I'll expound on. The stock market has been over the years a good investment. We have seen last year where the market closed at over 30%, and persons have benefited tremendously. Whilst the market is down now, there are still good investment options on the market. Great companies with great fundamentals that have performed creditably in the past and will continue to do well. These are companies that you can actually look to invest in. And the good thing is, there are a lot of these companies now that the prices have gone down some. And as the saying goes, there are actually opportunities in crisis. So these are some of the opportunities that we need to look at. There are also opportunities in other investment markets as the bond market, the corporate bond market. But most importantly, Steve, it is advised that one speak with an advisor so that your unique circumstances can be assessed before you venture into making these investment
Uh,
decisions.
Delories, with the advice you have given me over the years, my portfolio is completely diversified. I just want you to go a bit in what do you think of having a diversified portfolio?
And a diversified portfolio, Steve, is one of the things that as investment advisor we preach. And it's really saying not keeping your eggs in one basket. So having a portfolio of different investment instruments to really balance, because when your portfolio is diversified, if there is a drop in one of the investment in the portfolio, the others still perform good or the others still perform above, you are still doing well. But having one investment option and that investment takes a beat, Steve, you know what happened. So diversification is something that we preach as investment advisors, not keeping all the eggs in one basket.
Deloris, even though I'm a very young person, and please don't laugh anymore. Every time I say that to you, you keep laughing at me, and I don't. And you're my friend. You know,
Steve, you are.
what should I be worried about my current investments, even at my young age?
Worry, no. Concern, yes, because the truth is, a lot of persons would have seen a dip in their investment at this time. If you have a goal which is short term, you may want to relook at your portfolio at this time. But if your goal is long term, and you are in a position to do so, you need to look at maintaining your composure and staying on track. If you look to, for example, sell the stocks in your portfolio now and you have a long term goal, all you'll be doing is just cementing that loss. And you really don't want to do that because history has shown that as the market has gone down, the market eventually rebounds. And we have seen shocks and pandemics in the past, and the market has stood the test of time, Steve. So we don't want to just panic and jump out because of what is happening. I implore persons to stay the course.
Even though you have allowed me to invest and have a diversified portfolio, you told me many years ago to make sure I was in a pension plan, and
Um,
I really appreciate the advice. Should I? What about pension funds now? Should these investments been affected severely by COVID-19?
That's a very good question, Steve. A lot of pension funds now would have seen a reduction in the amount of assets that they have, particularly the fact that the stock market has declined some 25%. So persons who are on the cusp of retirement now will see a reduction in the amount of monies that they have that can purchase an annuity. But Steve, I would say to persons, don't panic. Retirement is there and it's something that we can't avoid. But a lot of us also, we have gifts and we have talents. Now maybe is a very good time for us to use those talents that were given to us by the Father to actually make money to enhance that pension fund. So I'm saying to persons, there might be a dip in your pension fund now. And if you are looking to retire, chances are what you would have expected to get last year would not be so now. But look at other options to remain invested to ensure that you can retire in comfort as you plan to.
Delores, my backyard gardening is still doing very well. The melon seeds you had given me, I mean, I think I'll be able to give you a melon soon. And I have some colorless seeds for you. So when I see you on the weekend, I will visit you and give you some of those colorless seeds because I want you to start planting. It's very good that you should start in this time.
Absolutely, Steve. It's the best time. And I love that you say that. And that is who we are at Jane, always helping each other to find a way. So you give me some seeds, I give you some seeds. Together, we can share with not only our Jane community, but the wider community. Because at Jane, we are all in this together. And we always work to help persons to find a way.
And
So, Steve, I look forward.
that is why Delores, we are having these 2020 redesigning your financial goals for 2020 is because of how JN cares. And on behalf of that, I want to say thank you so much for being here with us. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And we are looking forward to next week, Thursday, June 4th, when we'll be discussing another interesting topic. Thank you again, Delores.
It was my pleasure, Steve.